Hey there, welcome to Izzo's place. So I don't know if you saw the short already, but that short is well over a year old. But it was of a new Riff single barrel rye that a friend of the channel, Lady Jack, picked up at the distillery and brought it back. I can't remember if it was a gift or if I paid her for it. I don't know. So either way, I'm going to assume I paid for it, so that way it doesn't bias my reaction to it. Always a good thing, right? I believe it's around $70-ish, but editing Izzo will look it up and put it right here for you. But yeah, new Riff single barrel. It's a sour mash. It's rye, Kentucky straight rye whiskey, 112.8 proof, 56.4% alcohol by volume. You know what? Let's go ahead and pour this. Let it. I'll taste it. No notes, and then nice pop. And then we'll read the bottle a little bit, and then come back and give you notes on it and decide if it's worth the value. Okay, no notes yet. First pour whiskey of the day, so, well, technically not, but it was like 2 in the morning, so it's been quite a while since my first pour of the day. So a little bit of a hug, not unreasonable though. Let's go ahead and look at this. So this is a single barrel, selected and bottled exclusively for the party source, which I think, but I'm not sure, is a chain liquor store, but not positive on that. Distilled in June of 2018. Bottled in September of 2022, so we're at a solid 4 years. They've got aromas here. I'm gonna not read those for now, and we'll come back and look at them later. This is if you're looking for it and it sounds delicious. If you come across barrel number 11,542, that is this barrel. A new Riff on an old tradition. Each new Riff barrel is singular in personality and flavor, selected for its quality and complexity, bottled at barrel proof and without chill filtration. We preserve the character of the barrel all the way to your glass. Aged at least 4 years. www.newriffdistilling.com. I believe they're in Kentucky, but they are just barely over the border from Cincinnati, I believe. I'll try to verify that for you. Newport, Kentucky. So there you go. In distilled, aged, and bottled by New Riff Distilling. So this is not contract distilling. Let's give some definitions for any new viewers or those who are not into whiskey, if they're here for Izzo or maybe the woodworking or who knows what. But single barrel is literally that. It came from a single barrel. So with a lot of the stuff on the shelf, this Michter's is a single barrel, but the other three that they sell, just their normal releases that you can find anywhere on the shelf, they're all blended together. It's a bunch of barrels blended. And the lower shelf that the whiskey goes, or the cheaper that it goes, there's probably more barrels blended in order to get the taste that they're looking for there. So this is a single barrel expression. The notes I'm going to give you, we might not get those notes on another barrel of this. But this came from a single barrel, literally what it means. So it is defined now for those of you who didn't know. Let's also talk about chill filtration. So chill filtration, the Izzo definition of that is, for some reason, a lot of Americans don't want their whiskey to have any cloudiness in it, or they don't want their liquids in general to have cloudiness in it, unless it's supposed to be there. So with whiskey, if something has been chill filtrated, certain oils have been filtrated out, so that way if the whiskey gets cold, it stays clear. There are those that believe that this is not good for the whiskey, that the whiskey tastes better if you do not take those fatty oils out. So with this, if I put this in the freezer for a bit, it would slowly cloud up. And actually, I've got an experiment going. It would cloud up at first, but then eventually all those fatty things would drop down to the bottom of the bottle, and it would be clear again for the most part. So that's where the chill filtration comes in. They chill it, they filtrate all that stuff out, and then you get a whiskey that stays clear no matter the temperature. But I'm a fan when they're not doing that, but I'm not so far a fan that I'm going to avoid things that are chill filtered. It's just a thing. All right, what else can we define for you? We talked about chill filtration. We talked about single barrel. I thought there was one more thing. I guess that's all. If I think of anything else we need to define, I'll define it for you. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, I will poison my mind with my original notes from the short that you might have seen. So vanilla, oak, wintermint was on the nose, and then this is over a year ago, so my palate has refined even more over the last year. So I actually just said that the palate was undefined to me at the time, but I noticed that it had a pleasant burnt taste on the finish. So probably these days I would call it a toasted finish. Let's get into this glass and see what's going on. I definitely agree with old Izzo. I guess I'm old Izzo. With past Izzo. Vanilla winter mint. Oh, can I get a little bit of the toasted on the nose now? It's got a spicier palate than it does have a nose. So baking spices. The vanilla kind of stays in there. It's muted compared to the spices, but the vanilla's in there. So baking spices and a minty note. Not necessarily the actual winter mint that I got on the nose, but some sort of minty note on the palate. It's got a nice long finish. Sticks to the mouth, nice, good mouth feel. I always forget to talk about color. Kind of your normal amber color. Hint of red, hint of gold. Mostly amber. Let's go ahead and get back in here. Can you hear the train? It's the 619 right on time. So on the second nosing, it's a little sweeter. The mint has moved to the back, and I actually get a little bit of bright red fruit, like a strawberry, but not overly sweet. More on the tart side of strawberry, but definitely not a cherry. And then getting a little bit of butter. I love it when that note shows up. Yeah, so all the original notes are still in there. They're a little bit muted. I'm getting this fruity note and a buttery note. Very complex. I like that. Okay, this time on the palate. The spice is still there. Instead of oily, I would call the mouthfeel buttery. So that butter note kind of translated over. The cherry stuck it out this time. So I'll get, so it was strawberry. It was lighter on the nose. It was a little more prominent on the palate, so I would call it cherries. The spice is I'm just calling it baking spices. I don't have any specific spice for you. I don't see it here and taste a nutmeg. I don't taste a cinnamon, just kind of baking spice. And there is just at the end kind of like a toasted barrel finish kind of note. It's kind of good. And it's hard to see how far you drank down in these new Riff bottles. So I haven't drank a ton off of this, but I've drank enough that it should have opened up decently. Yeah, I'm down just a little. I'm close to the shoulder. I'm not past the shoulder yet, but so I've taken at least, I'd say, like 3 ounces off of there. It has opened up very nicely. Okay, what did I say? 112.8 proof, 56.4% alcohol by volume. And if that's a little hot for you, you could always add a couple drops of water, proof it down just a hair. Sometimes that helps it out for people. Sometimes it gives you new tasting notes when you do that. And of course, you add water to anything, you're going to make your product last a little bit longer. That's why you see a lot of whiskeys, standard shelf whiskeys, between 80 and 94 proof. Although, a lot of distillers will claim that they proof it down to whatever it's supposed to be, to wherever it tastes best. So, try to trust the distillers as much as possible. Or I do. All right, you know what? Before we get into it, let's do one more nosing. Then I'm going to look at the notes. All those notes still there. So we had winter mint, vanilla, a little bit of toast, light red fruit like a strawberry, like a tart strawberry, and a little bit of the toast. Was there something else? And a little bit buttery. Very complex. Nothing new on the palate. All those various notes held. I think we talked about. It's got the baking spices. Baking spices all the way through. Vanilla. The red fruit turns into a cherry, like a black cherry. Not overly sweet, not overly tart. Did I say the vanilla? The vanilla's in there. There's some sort of mintiness in there with the baking spices. Nice long finish. Awesome. Let's look at the tasting notes on the bottle, and then we'll go back in and see what's up. So they're saying aroma, cherry, and mint. Okay, so we're close on that. I got the mint, and I was getting strawberry instead of cherry. All right, so on the flavor, ryegrass and tobacco, I think that's just translate. I don't know what that would taste like. I think that's translating into baking spices for me. I don't know if ryegrass, I mean, I know rye bread. I don't know if ryegrass is sweeter or just, who knows? Then the finish is earthy. So I'd kind of agree with that. The finish is mostly baking spice and barrel toast. So I would agree with the earthy. I don't know about the ryegrass and tobacco. I didn't get that personally, but hey, whoever decided this barrel was worthy of single barrel, they got ryegrass and tobacco. I'll have to get some. I do eventually want to get some of the items that turn into flavor notes. I want to get that sometime and taste them or smell them, not in the whiskey, taste them in real life, and see how it stacks up, see if it changes my perception on any of them as I look for those notes in the smell and taste of whiskey. All right, let's go ahead and hit one more and see if those barrel notes poison me at all. Well, the nose, it shouldn't poison me because I got pretty much both of those notes. On this final nosing, everything's still there, but the winter mint has reinforced itself in my sinuses. So all those notes are there, but I'm predominantly getting the mint note this time around. Okay, and to be a little more specific this time, on the front, the front of your tongue's where the sweet is anyway. So on the front, winter mint and vanilla. In the middle, the sweet transitions to cherry, and the spices start to come in. And that buttery note's kind of there, kind of floating around there the whole time. And then on the end is spice and barrel finish, a toasted note. So that's how that progresses. And then there's like almost an effervescent feeling on the tongue. Long after the tastes have gone, your tongue still kind of feels the effect of the whiskey. It's a cool bottle. It's at $58, roughly $70 after you pay the tax, and if you decide to give your friends a tip if they're picking them up for you. Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's a good bottle if you like rye. And of course, though, unless you can find barrel number 11542, you might not get the same tasting experience. But the other new Riff single barrel that I've tried in bourbons and ryes, I've got a bourbon somewhere. I've tried other people's single barrels. I've got a single barrel down in Florida. I have not disliked a new Riff yet. That's me personally. So if you see these and you've been following and you're liking some of the things that you've seen on the channel, there's a good chance that you're going to enjoy the new Riff. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're working, work safely. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're going to have a good time. I will see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Oh, and hey, Lauren. Lauren, look at the camera. I should get a prop camera or a Polaroid or something. That would be funny. All right, later.